If you want to know the fastest way to lose money as a landlord, place the wrong tenant. One bad tenant can cost you thousands in missed rent, property damage, legal fees, stress, and months of time. And the reality is, most of these problems could have been avoided during the screening process. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact system I use to screen tenants like a professional. Not emotionally, not casually, but systematically. And this is actually a preview of my Landlord Shield course, where I break this entire process down step by step, which you could check in the description below. I also put together a free tenant placement checklist that walks you through the screening process from start to finish. If you don't already have a structured system in place, I highly recommend downloading it. Again, link is in the description below. Remember, tenant placement is one of the most important parts of staying profitable as a landlord. Hi, I'm Gabi Vitela, owner of NextGen Real Estate and Property Management, helping landlords in Chicagoland navigate the rental scene. And after years in property management, I can confidently tell you this. Most problems don't start after move-in. They start during the screening process. So today I'm going to walk you through my 6-step tenant screening process. This is the foundation behind the Landlord Shield course and the same systems we use in real life. So let's get to it. Step number 1, pre-qualify before the showing. This is where most landlords waste time. They schedule showings first and ask tenants later. That's backwards. Before I even schedule a showing, I want to know estimated income, move-in timeline, occupancy, pets, basic qualification criteria. The step alone saves massive amounts of time because if someone clearly does not qualify, you don't need to spend your evening showing the property. And here's something important. Stay consistent and fair housing compliant. Ask the same qualifying questions to everyone. And check out my video on fair housing if you need any assistance with that. Consistency protects you. Emotion creates liability. Verifying income. This one is one of the biggest mistakes I see landlords make. They take income at face value. Just because someone says they make enough doesn't mean they do. You want documentation, typically pay stubs, bank statements, employment verification, or tax returns for self-employed applicants. And don't just glance at the documents, actually review them. You want to look for consistency, date-to-date earnings, frequency of payments, employer legitimacy. And here's something most landlords overlook: wage garnishment. If a large portion of someone's paycheck is already being taken, that changes the financial picture significantly. That is only why the 3 times rule alone is not enough, because someone can technically qualify but still be financially stretched. In emergencies, rent is not always the first thing people prioritize. This is actually one of the deeper topics I cover inside my Landlord Shield because income analysis is more a nuisance than most people realize. Another thing that we do is we review the credit and debt income. So let's talk about credit. Not the credit score alone, I'm talking about the full story. A score is just a snapshot. You need context. You want to review payment history, collections, charge-offs, debt load, monthly obligations. This is where debt to income ratio, it becomes important. Someone can make good money, but if most of it is going towards car payments, credit cards, student loans, personal debt, that creates risk. You're trying to evaluate overall financial stability, not just whether someone can technically qualify on paper. Landlord references. This step is gold when done properly and almost useless when done poorly. Most landlords ask, were they a good tenant? That question tells you almost nothing. You need specifics like, did they pay on time? Any lease violations? Any complaints from neighbors? Any property damage? Did they provide proper notice? Would you rent to them again? And here's the important part. Listen carefully to hesitations. Sometimes the pause tells you more than the answer. Also, quick note, verify you're speaking to the actual landlord because fake references happen more often than people think. Look up ownership records if needed, ask subtle questions about the property. Do not blindly trust the reference. The background and the consistency checks. Now we start putting the puzzles together because screening is not about the documents. It's about consistency across everything. Do the application details match? Pay stubs, employment history, credit report references. If things feel inconsistent, slow down. This is where professional screening separates itself from emotional screening. You're looking for patterns, frequent moves, inconsistent employment, contradicting information, gaps in documentation. And this is also where you need to stay compliant with fair housing laws. Stay objective, stay consistent, and stick to your written criteria. Trust the system, not the emotion. This is the hardest part of many landlords, especially newer landlords. Someone can be nice, friendly, charismatic, and still be a terrible tenant. And someone can be quiet or awkward and end up being amazing. That's why you cannot control emotionally. You need a system. The landlords who get into trouble are usually the ones who skip steps, make exceptions, rush the process, or ignore the red flags because they want the property rented quickly. Vacancy pressure causes bad decisions, and bad tenant is significantly more expensive than waiting for the right tenant. And if you really want to master this process, really check out the Landlord Shield in the link below. And if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Professional landlords do not guess. Professional landlords follow systems. And if you're in Chicagoland area and you're looking for some help with tenant placement or property management, we're here to help. Because at the end of the day, the right tenant makes everything easier. Thanks for watching, and as always, where's your future?